What's up, everyone? It's your boy Radd89 here, bringing you another Radd movie review today to talk about Godzilla X Kong. Yes, the new Godzilla MonsterVerse film is out, and it's time to find out how this one stacks up to the other ones. How do I feel about this one? I went to see this in the theaters. We picked up the awesome popcorn tin. By the way, this popcorn tin totally rocks. I love this one. And then we also got the cup that comes with our little Kong on top right there. I love that right there. So yeah, we got the cup, splurged, and we got the popcorn tin, you know. And I just have to go all out when I see those kind of things. I'm such a sucker for that stuff. They bait me every time with those things. So yes, today you're going to hear my thoughts, positives, the negatives, the rating, and then I'm going to send you all home. So let's do this. Roll it. Godzilla X Kong stars Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, and Dan Stevens, and this one has Adam Wingard returning to direct this film. And man, in terms of the companion piece being how it compares to Godzilla vs. Kong, this very much feels in the same vein, keeping in the same spirit. You know, this is much more of a schlocky popcorn flick type film. This isn't like Godzilla -1, which had a much more serious tone. You know, Godzilla X Kong and Godzilla vs. Kong are, you know, those like, you know, dream movies that you think of when you're a little kid and you're 9 or 10 and you're playing with your cousins and you have your toys and you're thinking about matching up and mashing up, you know, mixing them versus this one versus this one. That's what this kind of movie is. You know, it's that real life, you know, fantasy on the big screen. So that's what this movie is. And I think that's a really good positive that leads into it, is that we're living in a great time to be a kaiju fan, a Godzilla fan, a MonsterVerse fan, because we have so much different content. We have much more serious stuff if you want to take it more serious, and then we have this more fun-filled popcorn type flick stuff. One other key positive is that the monster action is really strong in this one, and we have a story that centers greatly and mainly focuses on our monsters. King Kong is actually a heavy focus, and it doesn't bother me that much. I actually do enjoy Kong a bit more in this film. Godzilla is another heavy focus, has kind of a side storyline going on, but like I said, they're pretty much the primary focus and the drive for the story within the film. We actually have some other kaijus that end up showing up too throughout the film. So yeah, there's a lot to love and a lot of monster action that is, you know, littered throughout this entire movie. And the hour and 55 minutes, it actually speeds by pretty quick. It's a pretty fast-paced film. It didn't feel like it was an hour and 55 minutes to me. To be honest, it only felt like it was like an hour and a half. But yeah, it's pretty close, right under almost 2 hours. And it breezes by like nothing. The cinematography and the colors are really special too, and like a spectacle. And definitely this is a film that you must see on the biggest screen possible, because like I said, there's colors plenty. There's a lot of monster action, great cinematography, and the way they film it, the way it's shot, you can see it. It's nothing like, oh, I don't know what's going on. It's so jarring. It's like this, it's like that. No, it's clearly you can see it, and the highlight is the monsters. They are clearly the highlight. All these boys right here, King Kong, Godzilla, you know, everybody that's in here. We got the Scar King, our new villain. So yes, there's a lot to love about this movie, especially if you're a MonsterVerse lover. Another key positive is I think they took note of what people said about the other films about how they didn't like a lot of the human stuff. In this one, they kind of took out any negative or any evil type human characters like that. They just basically, you know, populated the film with very likable, very enjoyable, and charismatic human characters. Like one, for instance, example, Dan Stevens' character, who's a new one in this film. He's very, you know, charismatic and a lovable character. He basically plays like the Dr. Dolittle, like a veterinarian for the giant kaijus, you know what I mean? So that's a fun character to be around. And the way he bounces off Brian Tyree Henry, so that's what I mean. They really took, you know, note of people saying stuff about the negative stuff on the humans and having too much human stuff. So they just have very fun, very witty human characters that kind of just get you to certain plot points, but then it's all focused on mainly the kaiju. So let's get into the mixed and negatives, because there's some things that we got to talk about. And one thing is that Godzilla does get kind of sidelined a bit. He does have a side storyline, but I'm going to use a wrestling term just in case you don't know this term. Squash matches. A squash match is basically a match where they have two wrestlers go at it, and one of them is really just there to lose and make the other wrestler look good. And Godzilla has a few squash matches in this movie with other monsters, and it's basically they're just there to make Godzilla look good, and then he rests and stores up his energy for the final battle in the third act. So that's one thing I must say. Like, I know hardcore Godzilla lovers, they're probably going to really hate that. Like, I typically would hate that, but I actually didn't mind Kong in this film. Like, I really enjoyed the story that they were trying to tell about King Kong and having, you know, the mini Kong tagging along with him and stuff, and his battle with the Scar King to really take back the, you know, the inner world, like the Hollow Earth, you know, really take back his realm and become the king. So I thought that was fantastic. But one kind of side negative also that I must talk about is, like, I think the Scar King wasn't really that impressive in terms of our new villain and the other villain in it. I really didn't find them that impressive. It's really all about Godzilla and Kong. Those are the stars of this movie. And another negative is that we have a returning character from Godzilla vs. Kong, the young girl character. They bring her back and kind of shoehorn her in just to have something happen in the third act. But I like the fact that they do bring her in, because her story does tie into a certain monster, a certain kaiju. We already know that, you know, her lineage and where she comes from and her culture and her land. That's kind of not really a secret, though. It ties into a certain character, like a certain kaiju monster that must not be named, just in case I don't want to spoil anything. But yes, I wasn't mad about that, because the lineage of that character is very much in the Toho and Heisei era Godzilla films. It's very much an actual thing and an homage to those films. I just think it was very surface level the way it was done. They could have fleshed it out a little bit more, and I actually think this is one point in the film we could have done with more human stuff, like I said, fleshing out her character, and I would have been more appreciated of that. But these are just my thoughts and my opinions on Godzilla x Kong. That means down below, please let me know in the comment section, how did you feel about this film? Are you digging the MonsterVerse films? Are you excited for more films? Do you think they're going to do more? Let me know down below. But you also must know, you guys came here to find out what the rating is, and my rating for Godzilla x Kong in the Radd rating book is going to be a 7.5 out of 10. I was very much struggling in my head between a 7 and an 8, and I kind of just cheated a little bit. We'll settle at the 7.5 out of 10. Very enjoyable watch. Like I said, me and my wife, we took the family, had my mom with me, the kids. They all really enjoyed it. And like I said, there's a lot to love about this time that we're living in right now in terms of Godzilla content, and 7.5 out of 10. Very solid rating, and I recommend checking this film out on the big screen. You'll definitely enjoy it. Please like the video. That definitely helps out the channel. Sharing the video also helps out. I greatly appreciate that as well. But also have that notification bell poked so you're notified anytime I post a video. But most importantly, you all know what's up. Have a safe and happy Easter. Enjoy Easter with your family. I hope you all are hanging out, or even if you don't celebrate Easter, just have an awesome, happy Sunday. Peace out.